Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing intention and why intention is so important and how to use it practically and not conceptually. Like, what is my intention behind this thing? No. We're going to figure out what phrase can we say to ourselves before we do something, whether it's something that we eat, whether it's a decision that we make, people that we want to see, place that we want to go to, a mission that we're going to plan on pursuing. We have to ask ourselves, I am doing this. This is the phrase, right? I am doing this because. So you're saying, I'm doing this because, and then you're coming up with a reason or a set of reasons that are going to be powerful and impactful and that are going to resonate with you at a deep level. That way, you can orient your mind towards extracting the proper value from that experience. So here's the key is that you don't want to delude yourself into thinking that, oh, I'm going to go see a bunch of, toxic people, or I'm going to go to a toxic environment where there's going to be drugs and alcohol, and I'm going to come up and people I don't necessarily want to see. They're not even friends or like acquaintances or whatever. I'm taking an extreme example. You don't want to say I'm doing this because and then just manufacture a bunch of reasons. So you don't want to lie to yourself. You don't want to be unaligned. You don't want to be misaligned. But what you want to do is that the things that you are doing that you know that are good for you, or that they're a bit challenging, or they're new, or you're trying something different, or you're unsure about something, you want to ask yourself that I'm doing this because, and then come up with reasons as to why you're doing it. And the reasons, by the way, shouldn't only have to do with you. So let's say, for example, you're going to go see somebody. So you might say to yourself, because I believe this concept of people are your practice, right? So when people meditate and when they read books and when they're there quietly in their own homes, everything could be all well and good and dandy, being with close friends, whatever. But when you're going out into the world and you're interacting with people, that's when the the more real part of you comes up, when you're interacting with strangers, people that you don't know, people that you're meeting for the first time. And you want to ask yourself, I am doing this because, like, I'm going to go to this place because I would like to meet new people so I could find out about, who they are and what they're about so we can share a laugh. We can have a great relaxing time. I can make people feel at ease whenever I have the opportunity to infuse them with enthusiasm, with confidence, perhaps share an insight or a little bit of wisdom. And so I just gave you a bunch of reasons. So when you start saying that to yourself, or when you start thinking about these things, you're orienting your mind to actually be properly intentional with what you're going to be doing. So you're not there just because, you're there for a reason. Like, let's say, for example, there's something that you really want to do, but there's a test involved in you getting there. Now, if it's something that you don't want to do, you might take the test and you're like, okay, why am I taking this test? Well, I'm taking it because I'm supposed to take the test so I can do this thing. So I'll just take the test. I can guarantee you that you're going to perform better on the test if the outcome of that test is something that you want to attain. So you're creating desire, but you're creating specific desire, and you're creating hopefully healthy desire. Like I said, this is not an excuse for you to do stupid things and then justify those stupid things to yourself. So you can use your own inner wisdom, you can use your own discernment to determine for yourself, okay, what's really a fit? Like, what's something that I'm good at? What's something that I like? Is this healthy for me? Is this involving some kind of a vice, like a vice, or no? Like, am I going to a party to smoke a bunch of weed, drink a bunch of alcohol, even though I don't really want to do it? I don't feel like doing it. Now, if you just want to party and have fun and you're young and you're 21 and it's a Saturday or something, then I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm not here to just ruin all of your all of your fun and take every little tiny joy and tiny pleasure out of your life, and suck all of that joy and fun out of your life whenever you have moments and opportunities for you to be able to do that. Now, again, I'm not advocating for hard drugs or anything like that, or like copious amounts of alcohol, but again, you're using your brain, right? You're using your own discernment. So, yeah, I'm not telling you not to do these things, but what I'm saying is, when you are making the decisions on a regular basis in your life, so things that you do regularly, or things that you are going to be doing regularly, things that are important, things that don't really have to do with just just having a good time. But remember that even the things that you are going to be doing that you're looking forward to, so you don't have to justify yourself away from doing something that you actually want to do just because you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, I could find reasons not to do it. I could find reasons to do it. You don't want to drive yourself insane. But what I'm saying is that asking yourself the question, I'm doing this because, and then coming up with a bunch of reasons as to why you're doing it, your brain is not going to come up with reasons that are irrelevant to you. Because if you're going to be doing that thing anyway, because we're assuming that this is something that you either want to be doing or you're not sure. It's kind of like a yes or no. Because here's the thing: is that if it's a no, then hooray, then don't do it. You don't need like a specific. You could say I'm not doing this because, and then you could come up with the reasons as to why you're not doing it. Right? That's the inverse of this exercise. But if you're on the fence, or it's a yes, because here's the thing: is if it's a yes and you're going to do it anyway, you want to make sure that the energy that you're bringing to that experience is the right energy. So you're orienting your brain properly to have a good intention, so that way you can bring your best self forward when you do that thing, when you talk to that person, when you go to that place, when you go to that, whatever, when you engage with that activity, when you're out there experiencing the world. So that is a definite. Now, when it's a yes, if it's a yes or a no, which means that you're on the fence, you're really determining for yourself, okay, so I'm doing this because why? And then you're coming up with all of the reasons. If those reasons are stronger and more powerful and more potent, like you actually feel them more than the reasons not to do it because you want to come up with the reasons why you wouldn't do it, then it's potentially something that would be a good experience for you to have. And maybe you're going to learn something from it. Now, if you're really questioning yourself and there's a deeper part of you that knows that you're doing this because of peer pressure, social pressure, you're doing this because you feel like you're supposed to, you're doing this because you feel pressure from the other person as far as potentially there's some kind of guilt being projected onto you or whatever, then you really have to identify those things and figure out for yourself, okay, well, are those good enough reasons for me to do that thing or not? So it's really a way, a method of being able to orient your brain to help you make decisions. And then when you make that decision, so you say, for example, you're doing it anyway. You're like, why should I do this? I'm going to the gym anyway. No, that's okay. Keep doing the stuff that you're doing, but just come up with reasons as to why you're doing it, and important reasons, deep reasons that are critical for you. Because by doing that, you're going to, first of all, be more likely to do positive things. And all of the things that you are going to be doing, you're going to be bringing different parts of you to that experience. So you're going to be turning on more parts of yourself. So you're going to be like more engaged, and you're going to be able to get more out of that experience. So there it is. That's a very useful phrase that you can use. And that phrase, of course, is around intention. So what is my intention? But you could say it that way, but you can also frame it in terms of something that you would naturally say to yourself, right? I'm doing this because why? Like I'm going here, why? Like, why am I going here? Why am I seeing this person? Why am I doing this? And if you ask yourself, then the why, that phrasing sometimes will resonate with you better than my intention is XYZ. Because remember, you also want to speak to yourself, and I'll record another separate video about this because I think it's going to be very important. This specific thing that I'm going to end on is that you have to speak to yourself in ways that you would naturally speak to yourself and to other people. So you see like a lot of these things online about affirmations and saying things to yourself, and they're using language that you would never use. Even sales is like this. They have like a script. I'm like, I would never say this ever in a million years. Use these words in this way. It feels completely unnatural. And when it feels unnatural, it's inauthentic. There's no power and energy behind it. And it basically, it's impotent. There's no potency. There's no energy behind that. So I'll record a separate video about that. But remember, you have to use language that you would naturally use. So that way you can actually engage with that thing, as opposed to feeling like some kind of a robot reading a book and you don't even want to read that book. So because you're just reading words on a page, and then you're saying these words to yourself and they have no impact. So you want to make sure that whatever you're saying is actually impactful to get you involved in this exercise. Hope that was helpful. I'll leave it there. If you like the video, make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel as well. And as you know, I'm rolling out a couple of things, including a school community soon, where there's going to be live calls. There's going to be Q&As, meditations. I'm going to put a course there as well. It's going to be free. So I'm really excited about that. Look out for that. And that's it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments for now, because I do answer all of the questions in video format as well. Like if you want me to cover a topic, I'll cover a whole topic in a video, long form video. So that's it. Hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you soon.